What up, what up, what up? Nah, I'm just playing. Hey y'all, it's Lou Taylor again, and on this episode, I'm just going to be sharing with you some of my experiences as a host. I'm going to share my highs and lows and pros and cons thus far. So let's get into it. I can honestly say my experience hasn't been that bad. It's been quite a pleasure, actually. I've come across some pretty cool people, some eclectic, and some very sweet people. And I'm so grateful because I've heard some ridiculous horror stories from different groups that I'm in on Facebook regarding how people treat their property and how it's mishandled. And luckily, I have yet to come across that. I pray to God I don't. Like I said in the episode before, we repel the crazies, okay? Now, you don't necessarily have to be crazy to wreck a home, but we want to take on people that are mindful of our properties and care for it. Maybe not as much as us, but at least to some degree of decency and, integrity. That's what we want. Honestly, if you're one of my previous guests that I've had, I just want to personally say thank you. I know there's really no interactions through the platform, but I just want to say thank you because you all have honestly been pleasant. And I appreciate y'all. Honestly, I may not know you, but I don't have to know you to appreciate you and to love you. So this is my personal thank you. And I hope to see y'all again if you do book. And just know, if you've booked with me before, there's always a discount. You just got to hit me up and let me know. First question. How did you prepare? How did I prepare? I did as much research as I could online through Google and Facebook groups. I would search in the, Facebook, just different names to see how many people were in that group. And based off like the number, like if it was 500, I wouldn't join in. But if it was about 1,000 or so, I would definitely join in because I wanted more feedback and a vast majority of opinions from highs to lows and from pros to cons. So that's really how I prepared. Honestly, as I went, that's when I kind of started tightening and readjusting and positioning things a little bit differently because each person you get is different. And because I necessarily didn't know what I was getting myself into in a way, I didn't know how to prep. So I didn't start off with the house manual. I didn't start off with house rules. But as I got certain individuals coming through and I had no layout of specific things, I then realized, okay, you have to lay this out a little bit more clear. And that's how I came about establishing rules and establishing a manual and policy and all that stuff. What did you expect initially? I don't know. I wasn't expecting the worst, I'll say that, but I was somewhat prepared for it, where you just prepare yourself for the worst subconsciously. I did that, but also I didn't think I was going to get it because I really did my best with creating a space for my ideal client. And thus far, I've gotten that. So I didn't really have pre-expectations. It was kind of a free flow. And that's my personality. Like, I'm very free-flowing. So any crazy people? No crazy people. Praise the Lord. Now, crazy as in, it depends on what kind of crazy you mean. Because I've had some odd ones. And I won't get into detail because I'm not sharing nobody's business. But they were just odd to me and my lifestyle. Nonetheless, they didn't do nothing crazy or damaging or reckless. So it wasn't too bad. Have you had weird requests? No, I have not. Have you stayed in a home like you're listing? No. So my listing, I have several different listings on this platform. As far as staying in an Airbnb, yes, I have. But it's like dealing with bigger parties of more people, like 15, maybe 10 people in the home, and you get the entire house. Now with my listing, on some of them, I'm also in the home, just on a different level. So I'm not necessarily I'm in the same living quarters as you, but I'm not in the same vicinity, if that makes sense. I don't know. I cater to a certain group of individuals that don't mind this kind of travel. And that's fine. I don't necessarily have to be my ideal guest, because I'm not my ideal guest, and we'll get into that in a different episode. But far as, like I said, staying in an Airbnb like mine, I have not, and I probably would not, just because that's not how I roll. Doesn't mean that if you do roll that way, it's bad, or it's negative, or it's less than, because it absolutely is not. I'm sure if I were honestly to travel outside the country, I would more than likely do that. I'm not gonna lie. But as far as in America, What advice would you give to someone interested in hosting or revising for ideal clients? What idea? That's a good question. Definitely research all that you can. Write your questions down that are at the forefront of your mind. And then also join into some groups that just share their experiences and what they're dealing with. That helps give you an idea of what to expect, even from worst case scenarios to the best. Also, don't listen to people that aren't doing what you're doing. I know a couple of coworkers of mine and family would question, like, Lou, are you sure? And why are you? And well, what about da-da-da-da? Now, some stuff like were legit concerns to think about, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times people are going to place their fear projections on you. And honestly, I totally disagree with that, because why am I going to fear something that you have yet to do? Neither of us have done it, and you're telling me not to because of X, Y, and Z. I don't like that, and I don't necessarily heed to that kind of feedback, because if it's something I feel adamantly about, I'm going to research it. And if it feels like it's something that's great for me and what I need to do and where I'm going, then I'm going to. And if not, then re-look into those things. And if it doesn't fit, then I might hold off or not do it at all. But don't let people scare you. All right, that's all, folks. So, like I said before, be sure to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at I am Lou Taylor. All right, y'all have a good day. Go and grow.